Hello and welcome to another special edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And what you'll have noticed in the past few weeks is that Simon and I really love crosswords which turn into something else at the end, some sort of elegant and clever finish. And that's often achieved in the puzzles in the Listener, in the Times, or in the Magpie, or enigmatic variations, or IQ. These are great sources of puzzles that really have a bit of added extra for kind of further reward after solving the clues. And today I'm going to start an occasional series, which sometimes translates as we'll do one and see if we do others, of classic puzzles. So this one comes from 18 years ago. Puzzle called Playfair by Dolos, puzzle published in the Listener, number 3559, back in April 2000. So I've got the clues and I've filled in the grid here. So as always, we start with the preamble. 1 in 4 clues is misprinted. Solvers must discern the definition giving the light. A further 10 must have a measure of padding removed to give the answer, the desired one. Initial letters of these additions give a familiar quotation. Uncertainty can be resolved in the grid. Unchecked letters therein possibly form patterns to see. Finally, themes, 2 of interest, arise in the grid to be shaded. Chambers vindicates the core of the clued answers except for one Dutch verb. It's very hard to see what much of that means. 1 in 4 clues is misprinted. Okay, that's something we can fasten on to. A further 10 must have a measure of padding removed to give the answer. Initial letters of those give a quotation. Uncertainty can be resolved in the grid, so there might be clashes. Unchecked letters in the grid make something up, okay, and then finally there are 2 themes. But that's also a very strange last sentence. Chambers vindicates the core of the clued answers except for one Dutch verb. Very strange. Anyway, looks like a classic. And then in the clues there are quite a number that say see preamble. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this the... No, it can't be the 10. 5, 6, 7 of them. Well, as always, if we don't understand the preamble, and that's a pretty hard one to understand, the only thing we can do is kind of start in on the clues and see where that takes us. If we solve a few, we may find misprints or clashes and be able to make some headway. Turk's cap lily finally replaced by its front pedal in canoe. Canoe could be the answer. There's an umiak or Turk's cap. That's a phrase that probably means something. Maybe there's even a Turk's cap lily. Don't really know which end is the definition or what any of the wordplay is. Sickening, fastidious element of mustique, a sybarite. Hidden in mustique, a sybarite, I can see the 6-letter word queasy, which means sickening. So it looks like fastidious is extra, unless that kind of somehow qualifies the definition of sickening as queasy, which is possible. 7 down, make soft nuts to blend with fish. Fish can be id or eyed. Nuts. Nuts is often an anagram indicator. Make soft looks like the definition. Don't know. 8 down. Begins with E. Print artists lose nothing when breaking up the score. Okay. Well, we can break up, anagram, the score, get rid of the O, which represents nothing. And we've got etchers, who are print artists. So, okay, no misprint, that seemed to work. 9 down, natal tender raised Caliban's vocal parts. Vocal can mean like a vowel, or in the nature of a valve. So Caliban's vowel parts are A, I, A, And if they're raised, or even if they're not, they make Aya, which is one of the spellings of a nurse in Asia somewhere, India or something like that. So at least we've got some things fitting together. That's good. 10 down. Begins with S. Everything written by US composer, brought up in Port of Spain, according to locals. Port of Spain is the capital of Trinidad. But I suppose in a clue it could also mean a port in Spain, like Seville. Sevilla, yes. Sevilla is a port of Spain, as the locals say it, and that is all written by Ives, both upwards. Okay. 14 across. Let's go back up to that. Rodent. It is put out by a bit of tooth decay. A cavy is a rodent, and it's also it put out by cavity. 12. See preamble. Didn't really make much of the preamble. 22. Artificial bait put back with note about rod. Lure looks like bait. Yes, if you put back lure, you get erul. And if you cover that with far and note, you get ferula, which I think is a rod. I know a ferule can be, so I presume a ferula. Very Latinate word. 16. Stage marked by tears or tears in dismal slips. Well, it looks like an anagram of in dismal, because that's 10 letters. Stage marked by tears or tears. Alumin probably begins with A, because that will work for 15 across. Alumnis. Oh, it's not quite enough vowels. Let's try 17 down. Dye sources, that looks like a definition. Initially stains used for coloured. Oh, okay, so that's S replacing C. Cut grass. No, I don't know what that is. Swath? A math, maybe. I don't know. 22 down. Something used to set off following lube. I think the wordplay is F for following and then a 3-letter word for lube. Oil. So foil is something used to set off if you act as a foil for something. 27 across. Mills and Boone's top lines in swellings of the extremities. No, don't know what that is. 29. Gods standing by precious one at the risk of a flood. Yes, okay. Gods can be di, that's a plural of deus. Precious one can be, precious can be love, L-U-V. I'm working towards diluvium or diluvian. One at the risk of a. It definitely begins diluvi. Don't quite know how it ends. I'm not going to worry about that. 28 now. It's giving us more letters though, and we're not. Well, there could be a misprint there, but we're not finding any others. No clashes yet. 28 down. Gas concerning organic chemist only at the close of day. Een or even, E-N-E or E-E-N. Gas concerning. No, don't know. 30 down. Cast product of monitor turning tail. I'm guessing there's a 5-letter word for a monitor lizard. And if you turn the tail, so change the last 2 letters around, you probably get a cast, but I don't know the word for a monitor or the word for a cast beginning with V. 20 down. Thin white mushroom. Enoki would fit. With ecstasy, yeah. Summoned up religious imagery. E for ecstasy at the tab. And then icon in its variant spelling with a K written upwards. Okay. 21 across. Oh, yeah. Let's nip. Unusually protracted lying in the bed. Unusually, as so often an anagram indicator, let's nip is 7 letters. So an anagram of let's nip, that means protracted lying in the bed, where protracted is verb and lying is the noun, slept in. 19 down with an I second. Supposition is central to most of recently developed core in theory. I don't know, a theory can be an ism. Core suggests the centre of one of the words. 21 down. Drug made of roots pales when tripping. Well, that looks like an anagram. I think salep is some sort of fruit, plant remedy, so that could be a drug made from roots. 26 across. Balmoral boy has disposition to cover up his oast. Laddie would fit and be a kind of Scottish boy, but lie. Why would an ad be about a Scottish oast? That could be some sort of misprint. I do fancy laddie in there, but I don't know why. 32 is a C. Preamble is 15 as well. No, it's not. What bothers him, horrid city regulating itself? Could be an anagram of him, horrid city. And it could mean regulating itself. That's quite alright, but idiorhythmic. Ooh, how many R's? There's 2 in the anagram. I think this is a word. I'm sorry, I got used to the Times website version of the software. That fits nicely. Okay. 16 down. Still not running into 1 in 4 misprints. I don't know what's going on. 16 down. Stage marked by tears. Okay, so this anagram looks like maudlinism. Now, I wouldn't have known that was a noun from maudlin, but excellent. 17. The dye sources initially stains used for coloured. Well, I've got a C in it now. Dye source with another C? Don't know. 27. Mills and Boon's top line in swellings of the extremities. Kibbles. Are they chilblains? That would be Boon's top. B-L. Oh, kibes. Kibes, I think, are chilblains, and therefore kibbles must be mills. Could be Kimballs, but I think that works. 28. Gas concerning organic chemist only at the close of the day. Butene. So it's a gas of concern to an organic chemist, but for only and ENE for the close of day. 40 across. Moves on retaining amateur valet. Amateur can be A. Maybe it could be AM. Jeans. G's for moves on. Could be. Is there a word like Jeeves that means a valet? I don't think so. Almost turned a tidy sum. No, don't know. 30, preamble word. 26. Oh, gonna have to go up. Right, 26 across. Balmoral, it's the Balmoral boy. Okay, let's try this top corner. I haven't got much here. 1 down. Ooh, one's inferior to catch, as used by Tyne and Weir for military heads. Okay, so a 3-letter word for catch in Newcastle, followed by IS, ones, meaning military heads. Tarkies? Tack? It's certainly possible. I would not good enough to write in. 3 down. Inventor of tube. Bed. Apply it to fluid under pressure. No. 4 down. Oh, preamble. 5 down. Eastern king. 1 rejected by Iranian set. Well, I think the Shia can be spelled with an H at the end. If you take out the 1 and you've got Shah. Oh, and this 7 down, I've got a few more letters. Make soft. Unsteep? Unsteel. nuts to blend, anagram of nuts, and then a fish is an eel. Wouldn't have known that combination, but it works. Gave kisses to the ear, probably a homophone for kissed or bust. Near on the mouth and square on the fins. Pecked orals. Pecked oral S for square. Okay. I don't think we're getting misprints here. One's, so it's not. Kepis are military caps. Kep. So this must be a Tyneside keep. One across Turk's cap, lily, finely replaced by its front. So what? I don't know. Peddling canoe, kayak, some version of kayak. Pedal can be P. Kapok or something. 11 across. Winged runner, zinner thigh bone. Well, an emu's a winged runner, and it's the inner bit of femur, which is a thigh bone. Okay. 2. Oh, preamble. 3 down. Inventor of tube. No. 4 down. Oh, another one. What if that was Kapok? I don't know. That's very hard to see what's going on. I'm going to have to move away in a moment. 19 down. Supposition is central to most recently developed. Core in theory. Maybe core in theory is EO. It's the core bit. But most of, I don't know, there's a lot of wordplay there. Don't know what that is. Right, 36, another preamble word. That could be James, but I don't know why. 31 down. Hot tipple as drunk by Homeric characters. It's not hidden in Homeric characters, so it could be as or ut, meaning as. Put in muse or news. Some Greek characters or size. We wanted that to be diluvian, so negus is a hot tipple, and that is EG in news, the Greek characters. Okay, so 38 across, almost turned, so sour, but not finished. Now this 40, it could be G, I'm going with G, J-E-A-M-E-S. I think G, J-E-E can be to G up, spelled with a J or a G. I just think the valet is more likely to be James, a bit like James. 30 down, cast product of monitor. I just don't know my Hindu casts. I'm sure that's what it is. 33 down. Effeteness is too much for old fellow that's lofty. 25. Possibly lined about one side of visage. Could be an anagram of lined around an, maybe? Meaning the side of a face. Don't know. 24. Elaborate routine. This is 2 words. That is cited to develop naturally. If it didn't have elaborate routine, it would look like id est, which means that is, and is an anagram of cited. But it can't be that. That is cited. I don't know. And we wanted a D there for laddie. Id estis? I don't think that's a longer version of the Latin. 23. Old nation is laid out in a loop. Anagram of Polonia. That must be an old nation. That must be the old version of Poland. And it's an anagram in a loop. It's possible. 34. Oh yes, back burner for chips going to pot. Ante are the chips you put in a pot for poker or something, and Etna can be named after the mountain, can be a laboratory burner like a Bunsen or something. 39. Makeup of rake is redesigned as gown. I don't know if that's an anagram of rake is or as gown. Wagons? Make up of rake? Maybe you can have a rake of wagons. It feels interesting. 37. Maintained a log as was going west around desert state. Diarized. Died around Aries with a Z for Arizona. That's a good bit of solving. 35 down. See preamble, and we've got tag. Let's just have a look at that preamble again. 1 in 4 clues is misprinted. I just don't believe that. Solvers must discern the definition given below. Further 10 must have a measure of padding removed to give the answer. Well, there maybe have been some extra words like that, fastidious and some others. Initial letters of these editions. Initial letters of these editions give. If that was a crossword clue, the answer would be tag, which is the answer we've just got for 35 across. And a tag can be a familiar quotation. So that sentence, initial letters of these editions give a familiar quotation, is a whole crossword clue for that answer. Could it be that all of the sentences in the preamble make answers, they're clues to answers in the grid, they're not instructions at all. It's a complete con. And it could be because it was published on April the 1st. And then look what we're getting across the middle here. April Fool's Day. So, this is a puzzle for April Fool's Day, in which the fooling is that the preamble is not a preamble. It's clues. So what's this long one? 32. This is one of them. 1 in 4 clues is misprinted. Source for 1. A further 10. Uncertainty can be resolved in the grid. Dithering is an anagram of in the grid. That's going to fit in there. It means uncertainty. It's a perfectly good clue. Right, so we've got those two. Unchecked letters therein possibly form patterns to see. Unchecked. Don't know. Oh, what's this long one? Lucifer or something. Almost cruciverbal. Oh, the light, Lucy. Luciferous. So that's the first sentence. An anagram of 4 clues with 1 in it. That's lovely, isn't it? I in an anagram of 4 clues, which is misprinted, i.e. spelt the wrong way. Solvers must discern the definition. That's all just padding. Giving the light. Wow, giving the light. My God. Right, 18. This is another one. S something F, and then an E at the end. A further 10 must have a measure of padding. Oh, I don't know. Should we go back to the regular clues? What's 26? Oh, it's not laddie. Balmoral boy has disposition. Oon, O-O-N, is an oven in Scotland, so it's loony, which must be a brilliant Scottish word for a boy. Okay, let's go back to the regular clues. See if we can do one or two more. I still don't want to cross, but let's try 19 down. Supposition is central to most of recently developed core in theory. Life? Rife? Wife? I don't know. 25. Possibly lined about one side of visage. Right, yeah, that's lived in. So a face can be lived in if it's kind of wrinkled or possibly lined, but it's also an anagram of lined around I for one and V for side of visage. So a very clever and lit clue. Elaborate routine, okay, that's an anagram in utero, cited to develop naturally. So let's maybe, what about 33 down? Effeteness is too much, so a part of effeteness is eten, which is an old word for a giant. Okay, so this patterns to see anagram is happening here, and I didn't realise it was definitely a patterns to see anagram. Post restant, two words. Unchecked letters there. Unchecked letters would be waiting in post restant. What a beautiful definition to conceal a standard crossword phrase. So this 30 down, I think the cast is Varna and the lizard Varan. I mean, it might be worth checking that. I might have got it wrong. 17 down, dye sources. Clays and slays. Not absolutely sure about that. I'm going to put that in for now. Probably worth checking later. I'm not even quite sure how the clue works. Initially stains used for coloured. I don't really get it. Cut class. No, I'm not sure. I mean, clays could be dye sources, but it could be something else there. You know, we'd need to do some work in Chambers to check it. 12. Oh, see, preamble. So, shanties or something. A further... the desired one. That must be a definition. Themes, two of interest, or shaded... Suffered shanties. Chambers vindicates the core of the clued answers, except for one Dutch verb. Oh, let's go back to this Turk's cap. Lily replaced by its front. Pedal in canoe. Can't see that either. Anyway, we can see what's going on here. I mean, it's a brilliant idea to fake a preamble like this. What a marvellous puzzle. 3 down. Inventor of tube. Apply it to fluid under pressure. Piton or... Oh, to fluid. F could be fluid, could it? Pitoff. Calpac. Lily finally... Cap lily finally replaced by its front. Ah. Okay, so lily finally is the letter Y. And if that's replaced in kayak by the lily's front, you get kalak. I don't really know how to spell it, but it could be something like that if kayak could be spelled with a C as well. It could be kalpak or kalak. Oh, 4 downs, another preamble word, ends in O or something T. It might begin with an A instead of a C. Chambers, no. Oh, the desired one, amoret, surely. A further, A more, and then 10 must have a measure of padding reduced. That's almost all of it. Wow, that's just nuts. Okay, so I don't quite know what that word is at the top, but cowpack. is right. Oh, the P for pedal, that goes in there, so it is Calpac. And do we know what 18 down is? To be shaded, that could be suffered. I think that could be an F. Themes 2 of interest. No, I don't know. I'd have to work a bit more, but we see what's happening with that puzzle. What a brilliant idea. You might be able to figure out these last two answers. I think the first one is to 18 across, and the last sentence, Chambers vindicates the core of the clue answers except for one Dutch verb, which is probably IDV, is going to be the clue to 12 across, and for 3 down we need this inventor of a tube, Pitoff or something, I would think. It, and then OF. So I think it's probably suffered something like shanties and Pitoff, but I don't know the actual answers. We could work on that, but the point of this video was to do the puzzle, to see what a brilliant idea has been created there, and I hope that's been of some interest, because it's one of the cleverest puzzles ever. It's worth noting, did we point out that Playfair and Dolos anagram to April Fool's Day, which is written across the middle. And I mean, the puzzle came out on a Saturday, which was April the 1st. It's just brilliant. Thanks to the setter, and thank you for watching. I hope that's been of some enjoyment to you.